Okay, well, welcome to another Alexa skill video. This time we're going to be looking at Python widgets and linking them to an Alexa skill. We'll do this in Python. There's an example for Node.js provided by Alexa, but they don't by Amazon, but they don't show you exactly how to do it all. So hopefully we'll be able to show you all that, and let's see how we can do. So we'll start by creating an Alexa skill, an Amazon skill. Try to stop using the A word. And there's the link to the Amazon example. I've got two videos that show this in action. One just shows the skill working and one just shows the widgets working. I'll put in the link for this video here in a minute. This will be available on my GitHub account. Okay, you can create a widget, I should say, not a gadget, on its own, but it has to be connected to a skill, so you might as well start by creating a skill. So if you haven't done that, then whoa, you shouldn't really be here, I suppose, if you don't know how to create a skill. But I've created one already. I've called it my Python widget. I'm in the UK, so I've used an English UK locale and a hosting region in the EU. So you get to this screen here, and you can create your skill. First thing you need to do is to select your interfaces. So within the skill, in the build tab, interfaces, and you need to select APL because we'll be using APL. That's needed for your widget, as well as the skill. And we need to set these data store packages and the data store here. So we save those. You can build at this stage, but we'll build it later anyway. Okay, so we've added those. I said rebuild the skill, but we'll do that in a bit. So the first thing we're going to do is add a gadget to the skill. To do that, we're going to use the multimodal responses that you'd normally use for APL. But this time, you might have seen, if you do this recently, there's also a widget option available. So we go to multimodal responses. Thinks about it. Here's your widget. Go to widget and create the widget. This will provide you with some templates that you can use. We're very slow today. Okay, we're going to use this one here, Alexa photo with action button, and this is the one that's used by Amazon for their example. You can click this button here, which will provide you with details of the watering, whether you click it when you've watered your plant, or you'll be able to click up here and kick off the skill. If you look at the other videos, you'll see the skill there. So we'll select that one, and that's automatically brought in, and all of your code that you need is here for it. So we'll overwrite this in a minute with the Amazon example, but what you can do, let's just check I'm not running ahead of myself. I've done that. Okay, so you can preview the widget on your device. You can preview the widget within the APL, or you can install it on your device. So if we, sorry, wrong one. If we click preview, you can run the device here, and you can click the buttons and see what happens. Or you can install it on your device. If you click install, right, okay, you've got to build the model, deploy the skill, and then you can hit send to device. Okay, well, I haven't done that yet. So I'll go back, we'll save this, and you need to give it a name, we'll call it plant care, and save it. So you, as I said, you can only create a widget if you've got a skill. So we'll go back. to my skill. I'll build the skill. And I'll pause this while it's building. So that's the build done. The other thing we need to do is to do the deploy. So we'll look at the clover. Remember, I've not just used the default skill that we've got here. I'll deploy the skill. That will take a while as well. So I've deployed the skill. I've come back to the build multimodal responses. Because I've saved it, we've now got the plant care widget here. We can edit this. And as I was saying, we can now install it onto a device. So we can click install here. You won't actually see this working on this, of course. You can choose my Echo Show 8 and then click send to device. So, oh, my device is offline. But I've got a video here that just shows you that bit. That's in one of the other videos. So we'll show you that if I can find out where it is. Let me just pause while I find it. Do is you can preview it here on install device. So I'm going to click the install, select my Echo Show 8, and send it to the device. We should get a message here saying that widget installed successfully. And if we go over here, and that would be locked by my code. If we come over here now, stop saying the A word. Here's our widget installed on the device. Now, this also we can press the plant care reminder to take it into the skill, but we'll see that at that time. Or we can press and actually we'll do that. I'll let you watch the video elsewhere at another time. So we can install the widget. So the first thing, what we're going to do now is we're going to change the widget code. We're going to use the APL that's provided. So I'm going to scroll down here somewhere and find the widget code and paste it in. I'll pause again while that's being done. Here's the widget code. It's in this document, but it'll be in my GitHub as well. And I'm just going to cut and paste it into the widget code. Right, and I've copied now the APL, the data, the manifest, the document, and the settings. As we can see now, we've got this little I watered my plant bit here. So, and let's see what's next. Okay, so there's our display. Save this, make sure you save the widget. I've called it plant-care. When you do this, this becomes the widget ID. And if you forget to save it, or if you don't save it, then when you try doing the display on your device, it reminds you that you've got no widget ID. So in this example, you can click the I watered my plant button to show that you've watered your plant, or click the plant care reminder, which will launch the plant care skill. I'll just show you where the code is for those. I found it interesting. So both of these are action buttons, and they send events. So when you click the water my plant button, it sends this argument to this send event to our code, and we'll write some APL code to pick up that. Or the other send event here, when you click the plant care reminder, it sends an open skill argument to the send event. It will pick up either of those and either kick off the skill or say that we've watered the plant. I won't go into the rest of the APL for this. I'll let you look at that. And it's quite well described. I think it's quite well described by the Amazon example, the Node.js example. Okay, so that describes what I've just said. We'll see this picked up in code. We can check the widget on our device like I've just shown you. It's worthwhile you trying that on your device at this stage. If you get an error here, have you saved your widget, remember, the widget code. Now we don't have any APL for the skill in this example, that's just included in the code. So I've not got a separate APL for that. Okay, so we're going to save the widget, return to the build tab. And what we're going to do now is we're going to change the interaction model. So we're looking at our skill code now, and we'll take a look at that. So first of all, the invocation name, check the invocation name, is my Python widget. And in the interaction model, I'm going to get the JSON editor. I'm just going to copy and paste this. Now, if you've got more than one locale, you'll have to do it for all locales. So I'm just going to cut and paste the utterances and intents and things in here. So again, I'll pause. And I've just pasted that in there. I've actually added an extra skill over and above what Amazon provide in theirs. I've provided an underwater plant, so you can say, just in case you made a mistake. So if you quick look at the intent, you can say, water my plant, for instance, and it will run the plant care intent, or you can say remove watering, and it will run my unwater plant intent. Bad name, I suppose. Okay, so we can save that and build the skill now. And now the skill is built. We'll return and start looking at the code. So I'm going to copy and paste the Lambda function and save that. We also need to set up some folders in here, some files and some folders in here. So again, I'll just do that. I'll describe that in here as well. Where are we? So copied and pasted JSON editor, and I'm saving the skill. So I'm going to create this folder structure so I can copy in launch template, plant data, and I think I've moved data source JSON. I'll check that. Okay, so I've copied my lambda function.py. I've made a folder called documents, and in that folder I've got data source, launch template, and plant care.json that are used by the APL for the skill, and they are in that folder. So I'll just check my document here before I publish it. That's correct. We need one thing before I look at the code in any detail. You will need to get your Alexa client ID and your secret ID. I'm not worried about you seeing these because they're for an old device anyway, which is now old skill that was deleted. They're unique to the skill anyway. So I'll show you how we get those. I go back to the build. And I'll just check that in my code. I tell you how to do that. In my instructions, I tell you how to do that. Oh, here we are. So we're going to, oh, that's something else I've got to do. We've got to, you go to build, tools, permissions, and copy those. So build, tools, permissions, and right at the bottom here, you'll see your client ID ending in 1B7. I'll just put those into a notepad file somewhere. And you need the secret ID as well. and put that there. So having got those, go back to your code and paste those in. Just stop while I do that. And you can see this ended in 88B. So these are unique to this skill. So as soon as I've deleted that, you won't be able to see anything anyway. So we'll deploy that while I think on what to do next. Oh, yes, there was one other thing I had to change, wasn't there? There was requirements.text, because I use persistent skills. I need to add the DynamoDB adapter. Redeploy. And I'll just pause while I just check what else I've got to do. Nope, looks like that's it. Change requirements. We've got our skill ID. And we can start looking at the skill. So the skill has a get access token that uses your client ID and your secret to get an access token so that you can send messages, either install, remove, or update your widget. There are 3 or possibly 4 skills that you have to install for your widget. They're the remove, the install, the update, and the widget installation. I'm not going to go into those in detail because you can look at all of that information in one of the references I've got somewhere. I've got an update data store. That sends the request post to update the widgets data store items, and the APL event handler. If you remember, we mentioned the plant water widget or plant water skill and the open skill. I'll just show you those in a bit. And then we've got the 2 intents, the plant care intent handler that kicks off the skill when the user says water my plant, and the unwatered skill, which you can see in action in the other videos. Okay, these are done. I'm using request post to do these. In the Amazon example, they use Axios. So again, I've included those as imports in the code here. So I've imported some things here and also some stuff to mess around with the JSON files. Load APL here, files here. So here's your access token code. Here's the remove widget code. I'm not going to go into most of these. Most of these just send, get the right things together, and then send a message to the data store for the widget. So there's the install widget. There's the update widget, and so on. I'll let you look at that code. Okay, I also think I've changed the code so it keeps a record. Obviously, a user can install more than the same widget more than once on a device. So I think I keep a record of how many those I've done. Let's just show you the important bit of code down here is the update data store. Here's the request URI you send. And with an update data store, you send a header and some data. The data's got a command and a target, and they will vary depending on what you want to do, of course. So here I do the request posts, and I send the headers and the data to the URI. When the user clicks a user event, then it comes into this APL event handler here, and we're going to get either an open skill. That's when the user taps on the header of your widget. That launches the skill. You can have a plant watered event. That's when the user taps on the button through the widget, and all it does is send. Well, should end session to true, or the plant watered skill is when the user taps on the button within the skill. So that traps those out. And then it sets up the commands again, sets the target, gets an access token, and updates the data store. And then returns. Okay. Right, well, I think we're in a situation now where we can demo the skill. I'll do a deploy again, just to check everything's up to date. I'm not quite sure whether I caught the requirements.text change, and I'll go to the test and come back to you when it's all done. Okay, so we've deployed, gone to the test, change to development, and kick off the skill. Let's hope it works. Okay, we get my plant care skill. We can see what this is what you see on the screen. If I say water my plant,
tap on the button to water your plant.
Okay, so now I can tap on this button.
The plant has now been watered.
It says the plant has been watered. If I say water my plant again,
tap on the button to water your plant.
you can see that it's already been watered and it tells me when it was watered. If I remove watering, I think that just deletes this date. So
your plant needs watering. Say water my plant.
I say water my plant again.
Tap on the button to water
See,
your plant.
it's removed the watering, and I can say I've watered my plant. Now,
the plant has now been watered.
If you look at the videos, you can see the the widget kicking off the skill and watering your plant. I recommend that you look at the Amazon Node.js examples as well. And I think that's it. So in summary then, we've created a skill and a widget using APL. We see now we can preview and install a widget. We wrote the skill code and saw that it needed install, remove and update widget code to update the data store, and we use request.post to do that. And an APL event to deal with, as well as the normal skill intent code. So there you are, this code's available on GitHub. I'll put that link in this document somewhere. And if you want any more, you enjoyed that, please feel free to buy my book. I've got loads more videos on Python and Alexa skills at this link. And there's my GitHub link. You'll be able to find all this. And one or two more references. So I hope you found that useful. It took me a long time to get that all working, as I don't think there's any Python examples anyway. So best of luck with all your programming.